When this thing debuted, the internet was mad. Big mad.
It's not a Mustang, bro. That's the Mustang. That's the Mustang right here.
Easy, easy. It's okay. It's all gonna be okay. So that whole existential crisis, and if you ask me, genius marketing stunt by Ford, took away from this car's real headline. This is a solid electric SUV that's very quietly good at pretty much everything. So we bought this specific Mustang Mach-E in 2022 to add to our Edmunds long-term test fleet. And now, after almost 2 years of ownership with the Mach-E, we're ready to part ways with it. So here's the good, the bad, and the mildly inconvenient. Our long-term test fleet is getting exciting with the recent addition of a Fisker Ocean and a Chevy Blazer EV, with a few more surprises to come. So if you're interested in seeing what goes well and what doesn't go so well, be sure to like and subscribe. So every one of our long-term test cars is driven by real people in the real world. And the goal is to give you different opinions and thoughts. Overall, the best impression of what this is like to live with as an owner. So let's start with an easy one. What's your favorite thing about the Mach-E?
Honestly, my favorite thing about the Mach-E is just like how easy it is to drive.
My favorite thing about the Mach-E has to be the interior.
It's spacious, it's comfortable, it's well thought out.
My favorite thing about it was just how smooth and quiet the cabin was.
Oh, I love the Mach-E.
What are you doing?
That was embarrassing. Obviously, we have a lot of nice things to say about this SUV. But that said, we've owned it almost 2 years now. So what didn't we like so much?
After living with it and actually driving with it, I actually wasn't a fan of the suspension. There's a bounce to it, especially for rear passengers. It can be kind of uncomfortable.
As much as I like the way it looks, the door handles are stupid. I really, really hate those things. Like every time, it's just annoying to use. They're weird, awkwardly placed.
I found the seats a little bit flat. For a car with sporting aspirations, I know they spend a lot of time talking about this kind of memory foam. It's like a mattress at home, but a mattress at home doesn't go around corners. And also elements of the interior qualities and material choices could have been better.
My least favorite thing about it was the adaptive cruise control. It wasn't that intuitive, and then also it just didn't center itself in the lane how I liked. It always felt like it was leaning closer to one side or the other. So I didn't feel comfortable letting go of the wheel completely because I didn't trust the way the system was driving. I felt much more comfortable doing it myself.
So as you can see, pretty minor stuff. Now, one area where this car excelled was in our Edmunds EV range test. The EPA rates this single motor Mach-E to go 300 miles, but we did 341. That's good.
I took it on a road trip to Arizona last week and it was great. It was quiet on the highway, comfortable. I was a little unsure about having an EV on a road trip, but I really couldn't make any complaints. I had to stop, my 2 stops were like 15 minutes and 20 minutes apiece. Really not any different than filling up a gas tank and going and using the restroom.
We've seen consistently with, if you like, old world manufacturers that they tend to beat their EPA figures, unlike some of the startups, Tesla most notably. It depends how much you're going to be using the car for long distances, but the Mach-E can certainly hold its own in terms of its range.
I love the approach that Ford is taking where it's kind of an under-promise, over-deliver type thing. And so it was kind of a surprise for us that it went so much further, but that just gives me more confidence in their product.
They announced that they're sending free adapters to everybody who owns one to make them usable on the Supercharger network. What are your comments in general on what Supercharging is going to look like in the next year?
Well, I mean, if you're a Ford owner, it's great news because the infrastructure beyond Tesla is pretty poor at the moment, and that's really holding back the EV market. So being able to use the best supercharger network in the nation is great news for Ford drivers, terrible news for Tesla drivers. So it will be very interesting to see how this plays out and how big the queues are at superchargers. Particularly around where I live, it could be a big problem.
Things are about to get real spicy at the Tesla Superchargers. So it's no secret that some of the EVs that we've purchased haven't exactly been super reliable. But since buying this Mach-E, we've put almost 18,000 miles on it. And in the process, it has been the poster child for reliability. On our long-term blog on the website, we normally have a section reserved for maintenance and reliability. But for the Mach-E, we don't even have one, because we haven't taken it to the dealer one time for service.
As far as reliability, the Mach-E has been flawless.
I have never had an issue with the Mach-E, whether it's infotainment or driving It's never failed to unlock, it's never failed to start for me, like, it works.
As Ford's first proper electric vehicle, it's pretty impressive that it's remained so trouble-free.
It's become a rather unfortunate trend that EVs don't tend to hold their value super well, and we're about to put this to the test. We bought this car for $61,000, including an $8,000 markup, which was appropriate at the time that we bought it. And we're selling it for $28,000. So that trend continues hard.
I think people are still recognizing that it is a solid choice as far as, electric EV SUV. It's just, because it doesn't have that new factor and it's not pushing the boundaries in terms of range or technology, it's just sort of existing relatively problem-free. People may not be talking about it as much, but they're still buying them.
With some really decent used options on the market now, including this one, we're hoping that Ford has a trick or two up its sleeve for the refreshed Mach-E when it comes out as soon as next year. Otherwise, this electric SUV, which is one of the first to actually make waves in the industry, is gonna slowly fade into irrelevance. That said, if you're looking to buy one,
I would say that if you're interested in an EV, this one is not a bad pick, but it wouldn't be my top pick. I think there have been more EVs that have come out since this one initially launched, which might be better, a little more user-friendly, better range, and it doesn't have anything necessarily in performance or styling that makes it so much better than any other EV on the market.
I think the Hyundai Ioniq 5, Ioniq 6, Kia EV6 are really strong buys in that segment too. And me personally, I find them a little nicer to drive, just more comfortable to live with. And so I would recommend that they go check those out before making the final decision to get a Mach-E.
Go for the long range model. The all-wheel drive ones are certainly quick, but you're gonna get more range, and honestly, they're less expensive. I feel that's the case for like most EVs, but especially with the Mach-E. I mean, the range in this thing has been really killer in our experience, so take advantage of that.
as always, thanks for watching. And if you're interested in learning more about our long-term fleet, head over to Edmunds.com. Now let's go fight in the comments, kids.